10.8 notes for Algebra 2. We're going to talk about increasing, decreasing versus positive and negative. So for first thing we have is kind of like some multiple choice stuff. We're going to select all correct answers. So what is true for the interval x equals a to x equals b? So first let's find that on our graph. A is here and b is here. And so we're talking about this section right there. So let's find what's true about that. Let's see, from A to B, is it increasing or is it decreasing? Looks like it's decreasing, goes downhill. And is it positive or negative? Is it above or below the x-axis? Looks like it's below, so that's a negative. All right, let's do the same thing for the next interval. It says, now look at the interval from x equals c to x equals infinity. So c to infinity, let me erase this other one here. There we go. So from C all the way to infinity. Let's talk about that section. That keeps going. All right, so is it increasing or decreasing? Is it going uphill or downhill? Looks like it's going uphill. Remember, we read it from the left to the right, increasing. And is it positive or negative? Is it above or below the axis? It is above the axis. All right. Example 3, we have a new graph here. All right, so let's find what is true for the interval x equals b to x equals c. It's just this little section right there. I'll zoom in a bit there. So from b to c, you should be able to see that that is decreasing, going downhill. And you should also see that it is above the x-axis, above the red line. So it's positive. Next part. From E to F, that part right here. Take a second and circle the ones that you think are true. You should have circled decreasing and negative. It is going downhill, but it is also below the axis. All right. And then the next part, from negative infinity to a. Negative infinity, remember, is always on the left all the way till a would be right here. And circle what you think is true for that. Although we see the arrow going downward, remember we read graphs from left to right, so we read them going this way. So it's actually going to be increasing, and it is below the axis, so it is negative. Increasing and negative. All right, on the back side, we've got some problems here. This is going to be similar to what we've done before. We just had to make sure we understand the notation. So name all intervals where f of x is greater than or equal to 0. So greater than or equal to 0 is another word for positive. And so we'll do the same thing we do. Notice they are changing the symbol a little bit. They're adding a or equal to line underneath it. So we're going to write ours still using less than, but we're going to put that line underneath it. So name all intervals where f is positive. All right, so let's highlight this here. So positive would be this section right here. And it just keeps on going. That whole section right there is positive. So that would be from negative 7, all the way until 2. So you might be wondering, why did I switch that sign around and make it be less than? All of our intervals are always less than, because you want to have your small number over here and your big number over here. And if you think about, remember back in elementary school, the alligator eats the bigger number, you want to make sure the bigger open side is pointing to the right and the small side is pointing to the left. So always keep it in that order. All right. For the next question, they ask us where things are negative. So where is something negative? Oops, wrong thing. Which, remember, negative means below the axis. So that would happen in this section. And then all the way over here. So because we've got that arrow, we're going to say negative infinity, less than equal to x, less than equal to, and we'll cut that off at negative 7. And then we pick back up again at the 2. Bring down all your symbols and all the way till infinity because the arrow keeps going. Now, increasing and decreasing, remember, is kind of a different idea. It's just anywhere it's going uphill, so it could cross over from negatives to positive. So where is this increasing? It would be increasing right here, as well as right here. So let's write those two sections out. That would be from negative infinity all the way until negative 4. Now notice I switched back to the other symbols, only because they didn't tell me which symbol to use. I went ahead and used the less than. If you use less than or less than equal to, you're good. Either one of those is going to be fine. The other section we have that's increasing is from negative 2 all the way until positive 1. For decreasing, we've got this section right here and this section right there, which keeps on going forever. So that would be from negative 4 right here all the way until negative 2. And it picks back up again at 1. And it goes on forever, so infinity. All right, on our last problem, more of the same. So now would be a good time to pause the video, try this problem, and then you can check your work. Let's start with example number 10, which means positive. So it's positive in this section as well as that section. So from negative 7 to negative 4. And from 6 till infinity. Then we've got our negative section, which would be this area, so 2 sections. From negative infinity, again, use that symbol, to negative 7. And from negative 4 all the way to 6. One small thing, I forgot to put the lines under it here. Remember, if they give you the line, make sure you go ahead and put the line underneath it. There we go. So positive is above, negative is below. And then we switch gears and we start talking about increasing and decreasing. So increasing would be when you're going uphill. So this section here, then I go downhill, then I go uphill, downhill, and then uphill. So there's actually 3 sections where I'm going uphill, increasing. See if you can name those 3 sections. I'll give you just a moment. Negative infinity till negative 5. It's the first section. Negative 2 till positive 3. So negative 2 to positive 3. And then lastly, from 5 all the way till forever, infinity. Good. All right, then we've got our decreasing sections. So decreasing would be here as well as here. All right, so that would be -5 to -2. And from 3 until 5.